and representatives have already pledged to reintroduce these bills. So it is important that us as activists stay watchful of this and we continue to voice our objection. We saw ballot initiatives be launched in Washington State and Oregon to ban the confinement of hens inside of tiny battery cages, so small that they can't even fully spread their wings. Now, these initiatives brought together hundreds of dedicated animal rights activists that gathered signatures to place these initiatives on the ballot, including Kitty Jones here, who is 17 years old, and she gathered a whopping 10,000 signatures. That's a lot of signatures. She is just a true inspiration. I gathered some signatures in Ohio. It's a lot just to get 100, let alone 10,000. Now, as a result of her work and others, there has been a landmark agreement made between the Humane Society and the United Egg Producers. Though far from perfect and not nearly going far enough, this is a historic move. It sets the groundwork for, hopefully, what will become the first federal law to provide protection to any animals during their lives on factory farms. It would be the first federal law in 30 years to be enacted to protect farmed animals, and it would do away with such abuses as forced molting hens, starving them to shock their bodies into another egg-laying cycle. It would provide them with more space, and it would provide mandatory labeling on all egg cartons describing how these animals were confined, including eggs from caged hens. We've also seen a lot of corporate progress. We saw Aramark, who is one of the largest food service providers in the entire country, ban the sale of foie gras after being contacted by activists nationwide. And vegan advocacy, as we all know, each person that changes their diet can spare over 50 animals, the horrors of factory farming each year. That adds up to thousands over a lifetime. So simply by conducting vegan advocacy and inspiring other people to make these transitions, we can spare literally millions of animals. Mercy for Animals' new video, Farm to Fridge, narrated by Babe star James Cromwell, has already been viewed over 3 million times online, inspiring countless people to forever abandon animal products from their diet. To promote this life-changing video, we did a nationwide tour that went to 42 cities, 12,000 miles in 3 months, headed by Phil Letton, who is here. I'm not sure if he's in the... I can't even see anything out there. Phil's over here somewhere, I think. So if you see him, please thank him. I'm sure many of you are involved. This generated massive media coverage, and again, just it being completed, my God, is victory enough, I think. There's also been a new tactic called pay-per-view, which farm and other organizations are actively supporting. Veg Fund, and it's offering people $1 to watch a 4-minute version of Farm to Fridge, and it is changing people's lives on the spot. As you see from this photograph from one of these events in New York, people are being moved to action, and many of them giving that $1 back. And vegan outreach, I'm sure we all know, love, adore, incredible work. Passed out 2 million brochures just in the past year, and many of these on college campuses. I don't have the number in front of me, but I know that they've expanded that to at least 600 college campuses that are taking part in the Adopt a College program. So 2 million just in the last year, but wait, it gets even better. This now brings Vegan Outreach's total leaflets distributed to 15 million since its inception. Absolutely incredible. Also spearheaded by Farm and their Meat Out campaign, the Great American Meat Out on March 20th, around March 20th, they were able able to work with activists to pass out over 35,000 samples of vegan food, showing people how easy and delicious it can be to ditch meat, dairy, and eggs from their diets. All right, into the mainstream. It doesn't get much more mainstream than Oprah Winfrey, and we have seen some incredible stuff coming out from Oprah. We saw that she dedicated an entire episode to veganism with special guest Kathy Freston. All 400 of her staff members went vegan for a week, many of them losing weight, feeling better than they ever have, saying that they would stick with the diet. And of course, Oprah's show is aired in over 120 countries, so this far-reaching coverage